All right, let's dive in, shall we? Today, we're going deep on something pretty major, I'd say.
Whoa, yeah.
Something fundamental to American life.
Definitely.
Bill of Rights.
The Bill of Rights.
You know those first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution? Ratified, by the way?
Way back.
December 15th, 1791.
A while ago.
We're going to unpack what these rights actually meant back then and how they, well,
how they connect to us today.
exactly, resonate in our lives today.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it, how just these few lines,
Yeah.
they've shaped centuries of legal debate, discussion,
Oh, absolutely.
and they continue to, I don't know, just influence us today, you know?
Yeah, influence us today.
It's amazing.
It really is. So,
Where do we even begin?
right. Article I.
Okay, yeah.
Article I tackles freedom of religion, speech, press, assembly, and even the right to petition the government.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot packed into one article.
It really is.
It covers, so much of what we consider
Yeah.
essential to a free society, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. To really grasp the significance, I think, we need to kind of look back in time a little bit.
Yeah.
For many early American colonists, escaping religious persecution,
Right.
huge motivation for coming here.
Big one.
And the framers of the Constitution,
Yeah.
they were determined to ensure that oppression
Right.
wouldn't happen in their new nation.
Makes you realize
It does.
why these rights are still debated today.
Still debated. Oh, yeah.
Where's the line
Yeah, exactly.
between free speech and...
Harmful speech.
Right.
How do we balance religious freedom with other rights? These are the questions courts are wrestling with constantly.
All the time.
It's the Bill of Rights. It
It lays it
lays out these grand principles,
Yeah.
but actually applying them,
Yeah.
in our complex world,
Right.
constant challenge.
Speaking of challenging,
Oh, boy.
Article 2,
Yeah.
the right to bear arms.
The right to bear arms, one of the most debated.
This one's got to be the most debated amendment today, wouldn't you say?
Most debated. Absolutely.
What did a well-regulated militia even mean back then
Back then.
compared to now?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it?
That's the question, yeah.
You have to imagine, back in the 1790s,
Yeah.
there was no standing army
Right.
like we have today.
We have today.
Defense fell to ordinary citizens,
Sure.
organized into militia.
Militias, right?
So the right to bear arms,
Yeah.
directly tied to that responsibility.
And now it's just like,
And now, fast forward to today,
yeah.
and we're grappling with, how this right even applies in a society where muskets have been replaced by, AR-15s, all sorts of things.
It's crazy. The technology changes the context of these rights.
Yeah.
Even though the words themselves stay the same.
It's almost it was owning a musket.
Yeah.
Just expected back then. Like having a car today.
Like having a car, you just had to have one.
Yeah.
It's a real paradox, isn't it?
It really is, yeah.
Bill of Rights speaks to these timeless values.
It does.
But you got to interpret them through the lens of
Each generation's challenges.
each generation's challenges.
Exactly.
That reminds me of Article 3, actually,
Okay.
which deals with the quartering of soldiers.
Quartering of soldiers.
At first glance,
Yeah.
seems kind of outdated.
Outdated, yeah.
No one's forcing us to house troops in our homes today, right?
Yeah.
But maybe there's more to it.
Maybe.
There's the II.
Yeah, you're right. At first glance,
Yeah.
might seem quaint,
Quaint. Yeah.
but this amendment was a direct response
Yeah.
to practices the colonists hated,
They hated
being forced to house British soldiers
in your own home.
in your own home.
Yeah.
That felt like a huge violation,
I bet.
and it speaks to this larger issue.
Yeah.
The power of the government over private homes, which you'll see echoes of, by the way,
I was just thinking that.
in later amendments.
Yeah, in later amendments.
Because
Yeah.
it's all connected.
Okay, Article 4.
Okay.
Protection from unreasonable searches and seizures.
Unreasonable, that's the key word.
This one seems pretty straightforward, but
Yeah. What about
our phones, our internet data?
Data, exactly.
Is that covered?
Is that covered under papers and effects?
Right.
That's precisely
Yeah.
what courts are grappling with today. But, notice that key word.
Unreasonable.
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 What exactly
Constitutes that.
constitutes probable cause?
That's been debated.
Debated for centuries.
For centuries.
And it's even more relevant now.
So relevant now.
In our digital age.
Digital age, where so much of our life is
It's online.
online. Yeah.
It's a big question.
And Article V, wow. Rights of the accused.
Really accused.
Grand jury indictment. Yeah. Double jeopardy.
All the good stuff.
Self-incrimination, due process, just compensation.
Doesn't.
Feels like I'm back in law school.
Law school, exactly. Haha, yeah. But all of these terms, though,
Yeah.
they're protecting some pretty important ideas.
Right.
I mean, take pleading the fifth.
Pleading the fifth.
You see that
In every movie.
all the time, movies, TV shows.
Yeah.
But the core principle there is about protecting you from being forced to confess to a crime.
Wow.
I mean, that's
huge.
It's a big deal.
Huge. And due process.
Due process, yeah. I mean,
think of it as this safeguard.
Yeah.
Against the government overstepping its bounds.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Like what?
You can't be thrown in jail or have your property taken away without a fair trial and a chance to defend yourself.
Right.
It's about making sure the government plays by the rules.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this is.
It's all connected. It is all connected. It's all coming together.
It is.
But Article 6 really, I don't know, it jumps out at me. The right to a speedy and public trial.
Speedy and public, two important things.
I get speedy.
Yeah.
But why public?
Why public? Well, because transparency is key in a democracy. Public trials help ensure fairness.
Fairness, right.
And they help hold the legal system accountable.
Accountable, okay.
Think about some of those high-profile trials that have gripped the nation.
Yeah.
Imagine if those had happened behind closed doors.
That's a great point.
I mean, it's a big deal.
Now, Article 7 focuses on trial by jury in civil cases.
Civil cases, right?
At first glance, I'm not going to lie.
It's a little mundane.
Mundane, yeah. Is this just lawsuits over money?
I mean, it might seem that way.
Yeah.
But it's about preventing the government from becoming too powerful.
Okay.
Even in non-criminal matters.
Okay.
The people get a say through a jury of their peers.
That's interesting.
I mean, it's a powerful check on government authority.
That's a much more interesting way to look at it.
It is.
Okay, Article 8.
Cool.
No excessive bail, fines, or cruel and unusual punishment.
Cruel and unusual. Now there's a phrase.
It really makes you wonder, like, what's considered cruel and unusual today?
Yeah.
Compared to back then?
Back in the 1790s.
I bet the death penalty comes up a lot.
Oh, it absolutely does.
In these debates.
Constantly. It forces us to confront our evolving standards of what we consider humane.
Humane.
I mean, it's about setting limits on government power, even when it comes to punishment.
Punishment. Even when it comes to punishment.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Deep stuff. It is. Okay, Article 9X.
Right.
Rights not specifically listed.
Yes.
Are still retained by the people.
By the people. This was
pretty abstract.
Abstract, yeah.
What's the point of even saying this?
Well, this one's huge. I mean, it means the Bill of Rights isn't some...
like a final list.
Exhaustive final list.
Yeah.
It leaves room for new rights to be recognized.
As society evolves.
As society evolves, yeah. I mean, for example, right to privacy.
The right to privacy.
Which we consider so fundamental today.
Right.
Isn't explicitly mentioned in the Constitution.
That's true.
But courts have found it to be implied by other rights.
Oh, interesting.
And that's thanks in part...
to the Ninth Amendment.
To the Ninth Amendment.
Wow, I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Okay, and finally, Article X.
Last but not least.
Powers not given to the federal government are reserved...
for the states.
For the states or the people.
Or the people.
This sets up
the whole
federalism debate.
Federalism, oh yeah, it's still raging.
Which is raging today.
Absolutely. I mean, this amendment was crucial to getting the states to ratify the Constitution in the first place.
Right.
They were worried about losing their autonomy to this powerful central government.
Yeah, makes sense.
So Article X creates this tension between federal and state power.
Right.
A tension that defines, I don't know,
so
much of American politics.
It really does.
It's fascinating.
It's amazing how much they packed into these 10 amendments.
It really is.
It makes you appreciate the foresight of the framers.
I mean, they were thinking ahead.
They were thinking ahead.
To a degree, I don't think they could even have imagined what we're dealing with today. But
they set it up.
They set up this framework.
Yeah.
And remember, you know, the Bill of Rights...
It's
a living document.
Constantly being reinterpreted, debated as we face new challenges. And that's what makes it so powerful and relevant.
Even today.
Even after all these years.
So true. So true. It really makes you think.
It does.
Which amendment do you think is most important in our world today? Yeah, what do you think?
And why? Let us know.
Let us know.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.